tapes are compelling.
Desperate calls for help just after a top executive at an Albuquerque business was hit riding his bicycle home from work. News 13's Nancy Laughlin is live in the Newsplex. Nancy?
Dick, Cheryl Kirby was expecting her husband to come home for dinner Tuesday night. He never made it.
His only fault was he had too much faith that other people would obey the laws also.
Tuesday evening began like any other for Scott Dwayne Lane. The father of four, an avid bicyclist, was heading home from his job at Sun Country Industries, where he was vice president. He was sitting at a light waiting for it to turn green. Moments later.
Albuquerque 911, operator 3116, where is your emergency?
Is on the corner of Osuna and Academy Parkway.
Okay, what's going on?
A bicyclist just got creamed by a car.
Okay, in the intersection?
It was in the intersection.
Was he walking or on a bicycle?
He was on a bicycle. The light had just turned green for him to cross the street, and a car ran the red light and creamed him.
Steve Thompson was the man who made that 911 call. He says he was in his car. Lane was sitting next to him on his bike at the light at Osuna and Academy Parkway. Thompson says when it turned green, the man on the bike made it halfway through the intersection. Then
I saw a vehicle that was going excessively fast just broadside him and knocked him about 30 feet.
My three children sat and watched their father die, bleeding profusely, and it was horrifying.
Cheryl Kirby says her family was eating dinner when they got the call that Dwayne was in the hospital. She says in an instant, her husband of more than 30 years, the father of her four children, was badly injured.
The injuries were, just so severe. His face was just a mess. His eyes were a mess.
Cheryl says Dwayne loved bicycling and was in such amazing shape that despite his massive injuries, it took 4 hours for him to die because his heart would not stop beating.
He had this wonderful heart because he was in really good shape. I mean, bicycling is really great for you if a car doesn't hit you. It's wonderful.
Cheryl tells us her husband wanted to be an organ donor, but because of his massive internal injuries, that will not be possible. Cheryl also tells us she has yet to hear from the woman who hit him. Back to you.
Okay, Nancy, that driver, 58-year-old Carol Svinorich, did not return our call. She told police she thought her light may have been green or yellow. APD is still investigating the case. The results will be turned over to the DA for a decision on charges.